Hello and welcome to the Ram House Video Podcast. I'm Tony Clark, the Marketing Director. Today I've got on our Executive Director, Melissa Woodson, and she's going to give us some updates about what's going on at Ram House. How are you today, Melissa?
I'm doing great, Tony.
Melissa, I just wanted to discuss some things that are going on at Ram House, and specifically with the increase of cost of living for many of our clients. And it has to deal with the financial aid department. Can you give us an update on those stats and numbers and things that are going on with financial aid?
Well, it's really interesting because all through the worst of COVID, yes, we had an uptick, but along about February of this year, suddenly we had long lines of people coming in the door. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that we're at a 40-year high inflation rate. Gas prices have doubled. In addition to that, we all know when we go to the grocery store how much more expensive food is. I keep hearing that number 8.5%, but my experience in the grocery store is it's much more than that. So we're seeing people who we hadn't seen before, and especially the fixed income disabled and the fixed income senior citizens. These are people that were on a budget before that didn't require anyone to help them. But with these increased influences, all of a sudden, they are falling through the cracks. And they come here very upset that they're having to ask for help. We try to be reassuring about that, but they're very humble people, and they've always taken care of themselves. So this has been very hard for them.
Yeah, and the thing that strikes me is seeing folks that we've never seen before. A couple of weeks ago, I was coming in the front door, and there was an elderly grandmother that was pulling her suitcase to get lunch up the hill. And she had trouble getting in the front door, and I was helping her in the front door. And I was thinking I'd never seen an individual like this before at Ram House, and how sad that is. And it really tugged at my heart. But yeah, you're talking about a different clientele that we're not used to seeing, and it really breaks your heart to see that, doesn't it?
Speaking of a different type of clientele, and I'm not the only community leader who has recently noticed this, we're seeing larger influxes of people who have severe addictions coming into our day shelter. Yesterday was just heartbreaking for me. One person that I saw in particular, who I thought to definitely be, as Beth Macy has coined the term, dope sick. We're seeing a lot of post-COVID madness almost. I think that people went through so much, and it feels to me like a lot of people are falling through a net where they were okay before, but they're not now.
Yeah, it's very sad to see. And again, the cost of living is increasing, so it's affecting everything.
Yes.
So we definitely need folks, if you can afford, to step up and please donate. Please keep your financial giving to Ram House if you can.
Whatever rate you can. We have people that will come here every month and give us a $10 bill. And I think those are the things that I appreciate so much, because they give as they can. And it's just very heartwarming that they do that. Sometimes the shelter clients will actually slip money under the desk and not even say who they are. We've had that happen. It's people just to give as they can, and we'll all be okay.
Yeah, pretty sound advice. Give as you can. No giving is too small if that's what you can afford. So we're certainly thankful of all of you folks that give to Ram House. Mm-hmm. Now, Melissa, we've got a new Ram van. We've got a van that's got Ram House on the side of it. Can you tell us a little bit about the need for the van and how it came about?
Well, this all tags back to the Roanoke Times Good Neighbors Fund. And I look at that as being such a blessing to the Ram House. Things happen with that. And every year they will ask us, well, besides the donations for the campaign, what do you need? And I'm sitting here thinking, we've got a 1998 van that I'm pouring gas into because it's a guzzler, and I'm pouring repair in, and we need a van. Little did I know, because I thought, well, maybe it'll happen. Long about after the article ran in the Roanoke Times, I got a call from our past board president, Kevin Bohan, and he's with the Jesus Christ Church of the Latter-day Saints. And they came up with a great amount of money to put towards it. And then you and me, of course, we got on the horn and we started asking dealers and we were getting nowhere. Do you remember that? We're asking all these people, and suddenly an anonymous car dealer who really felt the pain of what was going on said, hey, we'll give you a good discount. And they did. And then Raleigh Court Presbyterian Church stepped up and paid the remainder. So we didn't put a penny into this, and we got it completely paid for. It's just really a blessing.
Yeah, and the needs, what are we going to use this van for, Melissa?
Well, we're going to use it what we've been using it for. We pick up food from Starbucks for breakfast. We pick up food from BJ's every week, a good amount of food. And whenever we can and we have the staff, we'll go to other places and pick up food from churches or whoever's doing a food drive for us. We can't always because we're often short-staffed, but we really try to. And in addition to that, we have this huge dream of being able to take the van in the morning, go over to the rescue mission, and pick up people who can't walk the 2.8 mile round trip. So that would be like at 7:45 in the morning, a couple loads or a load of people. And then again at 3:45 in the afternoon, a couple trips over there at the most. We don't have staff to do this, and we really want to write some grants to see if we can get some staff. But I'm thinking, and I might be wrong, but I'm thinking that there's a lot of retired people, perhaps people who have driven a bus or a tractor trailer or a school bus, who might be willing to just say, hey, I don't feel like volunteering 4 or 5 hours a day, but once or twice a month, it would not be a big deal for me to come in the morning and spend 45 minutes. That little bit of time can make a huge influence on how people can be helped. And the fact of the matter is, we really need to take these people to a place where they can get out of the heat this summer. The summer's terrible. We need to be able to make sure that they're not sitting in the hot sun in the middle of our business districts all day. And when they are here, we can do things to help them to get them housed again. So it just makes perfect sense to us. And we hope that we're going to start small, but we're hoping that we'll be able to give this service perhaps every day eventually.
So basically we're looking for a bus driver to volunteer his time to come in and help some ladies and gentlemen out, make that trip to the rescue mission to and from, because again, I think it's like you said a 2.8 mile trip. And when you're having health issues in the middle of the summer or the winter or any time of year, it's hard to make that trip. So
and let me also say that this van, you don't have to be an experienced driver of a huge vehicle. This van is very drivable. It's very easy to drive. So don't be daunted by that.
Yeah, it's a smaller van. It's not one of those big vans. So it's certainly something that's doable. We just need your time and your compassion and your expertise there. So thank you so much for that update. So again, the cost of living is increasing. We're always needing donations to Ram House. And we're also looking for someone to volunteer to drive this van. So Melissa, great updates, and thank you so much. But my question is, someone's out there listening or watching this, and they're saying, what can I do? How can I step forward? How can I help with the increased cost of living and also with the Ram van? How can I help?
Well, as we mentioned, there's a very simple way, and that's to give of yourself. And regarding money, we need it, period, to do all that we're doing. We're feeding twice as many people as we were this time last year at lunch. Twice as many people. The other thing is we have a diehard group of volunteers in our kitchen, and they're wonderful. But summer's coming on and people are taking vacations. And, if you want to volunteer to help in the kitchen, you don't have to be a food expert. As a matter of fact, I've heard a lot of people who come to volunteer in the kitchen say it's quite a wonderful experience because they're learning how to cook some really good food. So that's the other thing. You can go on our website and there is ways to help, and you can sign up to volunteer. You can You can donate. You can always mail a check here to 824 Campbell Avenue. The zip code is 24016. And anything else that maybe you think that might help us. I know that our volunteers and our staff are really tired. It's hard to hire people right now. We have a part-time shelter manager position open, and this has been for months. We haven't been able to fill that role. So if you know someone who would enjoy doing that, please send them my way. I would love to speak to them. And our main number here to get to me is 540-345-8850. We need the right person. We need a compassionate person, and we need a person who understands safety here too.
Again, Melissa, all of these links will be underneath the video, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. You'll certainly have access to click on those links if you want to contact us and you want to get in touch with us. Those will be available. So Melissa Woodson, our Executive Director at Ram House, thank you so much, Melissa, for giving us an update.
Thank you, Tony.
And until next time, thank you very much.